Mickey and the dog say hey, Willie. Mickey and the dog say hey.
Hi, Slow Pitch softball fans. Doug Schneider here with our weekly review and preview of the Lake Champlain Slow Pitch Softball League. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Doug Schneider's week in the Lake Champlain Slow Pitch League after a week's absence. Tonight's feature game, we find Ayerst playing host to Monette and Vicks. Monette and Vicks, a new entry in the league. Currently, they are in first place in their division. They're playing real good ball for a new entry in the league. Doing the pitching tonight for Ayerst is Mark Merrill. Dewey Gordon is behind the plate doing the catching. Around the infield for Ayerst, find Jimmy Scriver at first base. Ronnie Babby's at second. Jim Enkill's a shortstop tonight. Dave Bayshard plays third base. Around the outfield, we've got Jim Farina in left field, Paul McGough in left center field, Randy LaFountain's in right center field, Randy LaFountain's in right field. In the center field tonight is Hugh Warner. Doing the umpiring for tonight's game, longtime Lake Champlain Slow Pitch League umpire assigner, Sir Dick Butterball Eterno. Leading off for Monette and Vicks will be Paul Rowell. He's playing center field tonight. He'll be followed by his brother Gary Rowell at second base. Dave Lambert tonight's going to hit third and do the catching. We're almost ready for our action tonight. Dewey Gordon throws the ball down to second base. Paul Rowell comes to the plate. He'll lead it off for Monette and Vicks. The only final score of tonight's action in the league found Bowl Mart Lanes defeating the Crossing 15-0. It's the only final score we've got so far. We're having trouble with our wire service tonight. Doing the filming for tonight's game, Calvin Castine. His brother Guy Castine's a sound engineer and official scorer. Ready to get underway. First pitch to Paul Rowell's outside for a ball. On deck, Gary Rowell. Second delivery, short for ball 2. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Ball's inside. Count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. Pitcher Martin Merrill. I believe this is Martin Merrill's first game pitching this year. He battles back with a strike. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Ball 4. Paul Rowell's on base with a walk. That'll bring Gary Hagg to the plate. Hagg's a second baseman. There's a lot of speed and quickness. Playing a very good defense this year. First pitch is a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Got a runner on first. We're in the top of the first inning. Monette and Vicks at the plate. Second delivery is deep. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Rowell lines the ball to left field for a base hit. Paul Rowell all the way around to third base, and Gary Rowell stands up at second base with a double. These guys run the bases extremely hard and extremely well. We got runners on second and third with no out. Monette will send their catcher, Dave Pickles Lambert, to the plate. On deck will be the veteran first baseman, Gerald Duquette. Lambert steps in. First pitch is inside, ball 1. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. We've got runners on second and third with no down in the top of the first inning. Second pitch is outside. The count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Lambert drives the ball to center field. Center fielder camps under the ball, drops the ball. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Dave Lambert standing at second base. Ayer's been charged to the center fielder. 2 runs score. Monette jumps out to a 2-0 lead in the top of the first inning. There's nobody out. The runner at second base, Gerald Duquette, steps to the plate. Gerald's the first baseman in tonight's game. On deck will be the designated hitter, Brad Rascal. Duquette pops the ball up in the infield. Dave Bayshard comes in, makes the catch. Lambert tags up at second, slides into third base, and he's safe there. Dave Bayshard made a nice play on the ball. They failed to cover third base on the catch. Lambert was able to tag up at second and move into third, so he stands in there with one away. Monette's designated hitter, Brad Rascal, steps to the plate. First pitch is short and inside for ball one. Second pitch is short. 2 balls and no strikes on Brad Rascal. On deck, Larry Buckwheat LaValle. Broke in 2 years ago with Alton Guerin. Doing a fine job in the outfield. Monettes and Vicks. Merrill battles back with a strike. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. There's 1 away and a runner on third. Monettes leads 2-0. We're on the top of the first inning. Rascal hits the ball in the air to right field. Right field of the fountain. Drops the ball. 1 run scores. Rascal stands in at second base, and error's been charged to the right fielder on the play. Monette jumps out quickly to a 3-0 lead, and they've got a runner in scoring position with 1 away. Larry LaValle steps to the plate. Stepping in the on-deck circle are shortstop Ralph Graves. First inning, Ayerst is running into problems. Their pitchers having control problems. Had 2 balls in the outfield that should have been caught for outs, and they were dropped. Leads to 3 runs for Monette and Vicks. LaValle stands in the hit with a count of 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 away. Drives the ball foul out of play down the right field line. Counts even at 2 balls and 2 strikes from Larry LaValle.
Come on, Buckwheat, come on! Hit the ball! Here, we're gonna have
Ball 3, count goes full.
Hit the ball hard now.
Full count, LaValle hits the ball out of play down the left field line. Monette leads 3-0. We're in the top of the first inning.
Hit it, Buck, hit it now.
1 away, runner at second base. It's a full count on the batter, Larry LaValle. LaValle drives the ball foul down the third base line. Count stays full.
Come on, guys. Stay up now, stay up, guys, stay up, guys. Come on, Buck, hit it hard, Buck, hit it hard. Come on, Buck, hit the ball. Hit it hard.
Merrill delivers a 3-2 pitch. LaValle takes it for ball 4. Puts runners at first and second with 1 down. That'll send the shortstop, Ralph Graves, to the plate. Ralph's a new performer in the league this year. First pitch is a ball. Now goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Second pitch is outside. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch is outside. The count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. Book says here that Ralph Graves will sit on this pitch. Ball 4, the bases are loaded with one away. That'll send the third baseman, John Babby, to the plate. John, former Woodman of the World performer, stands in here with the bases loaded and one away. His team leads in the top of the first, 3-0. Mark Merrill running into a control problem. First pitch, ball 1.
Anything close, John, hit the ball. We're up there to hit now. We're up there to hit now.
Pitch is short for ball 2. Merrill battles back with a strike. The count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike on John Babby. Bases are full with one away in the top of the first. Monette leads 3-0. Ball is inside. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. On deck, Monette's left fielder, Darryl Monette. Babby pops the ball up in the infield, and the infield fly rule. The batter is out for the second out of the inning. That'll send left fielder Monette to the plate with the bases full. 2 down in the inning. The 3-1 pitch, Babby swung at a pitch inside, popped it up in the infield. Merrill battles with a strike. First batter, he's been ahead. Key to this game, you gotta get ahead of the hitters. Key to any baseball, softball, little league, whatever. He's back with a ball. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Darryl Monette. Monette drives the ball to center field. The center fielder camps under the ball, makes the catch for the final out of the inning. But in the inning, Monette and Vicks comes up with 3 runs. Had 1 hit in the inning. They left the bases full. So after a half inning of play, Monette and Vicks 3, and Ayerst coming to bat. We'll set the Monette's infield for you. Gerald Duquette will be at first base. Ag Rouse at second. Ralph Graves is at short, and John Babby's at third. Doing the catching tonight, Dave Lambert. The outfield, we got Darryl Monette in left field, Royce Clark in left center field, Larry LaValle's in right center field, and Paul Rouse in right field. Leading off for Ayerst, third pitcher Mark Merrill. Terry Lamberton's doing the pitching tonight for Monette. He opens up with first 2 pitches were balls. Battles back with a strike. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. That pitch is too high. The count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike to Mark Merrill. Lamberton battles back. The count goes full to Mark Merrill. Merrill drives the ball up the middle. Lamberton knocks it down. Goes to first, throws the ball away. Merrill's on his way to second base. Lambert throws the ball over second base. John Babby backs up the plate. Mark Merrill stands in with a base hit. And on the air, on the throw, goes to second base. He stands in with no outs. The right fielder, Randy LaFountain, steps in here. On deck for Ayerst, their first baseman, Jimmy Scriver. First delivery is outside for a ball. Lamberton comes in with a strike. LaFountain swings on the pitch, fouls the pitch at the plate. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy LaFountain. LaFountain drives the ball up the middle. Lamberton checks the runner, goes to first for the first out of the inning. Merrill holds at second base. He's there with 1 away, and Jimmy Scriver comes to the plate. On deck will be the Ayerst third baseman, Dave Bayshard. It's 1 away in the bottom of the first. Ayerst trails in the ball game 3-0. Lamberton's first pitch is a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Battles back with a strike. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Fouls the pitch. For strike 2. Catcher fails to come up with a ball. Dave Lambert is a stranger behind the plate. Monette's regular catcher, Stanley Roberts, is out with an injury. We'll get more into that later in the ball game. Scriber hits the ball to the right side of the infield. Gary Rao makes the play unassisted over to first base for the second out of the inning. Merrill moves over to third on the play, and that'll send their third baseman, Dave Bayshard, to the plate with 2 down in the bottom of the first. Stanley Roberts was injured in last Thursday's ball game with a violent collision at the plate. He'll be out indefinitely. Lamberton starts Bayshard off with a strike. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Bayshard hits the ball in the air to left center field. Royce Clark comes in, makes the catch for the third out of the inning. So after 1 complete inning of play, Monette's and Vicks leads 3, Ayerst, nothing. So after 1 inning of play, Monette's leads 3-0. Both teams came up with a hit in the first inning. The difference in the ball game, the control problems the Ayerst pitcher had, and the problems on defense in the outfield, led to 3 runs. Ayerst come up with no runs. First pitch to Royce Clark was a ball. Second pitch is hit to right field. Right fielder LaFountain comes in on the ball, makes the catch. For the first out of the inning, retires left center fielder Royce Clark. Coming to the plate will be Monette's pitcher, Terry Lamberton. He also doubles as the manager of Monette's and Vicks.
Come on, Terry. Come on, Terry boy. Come on, Terry boy.
First delivery is a ball. Lamberton's done a hell of a job managing this team this year. They've got what we call the right chemistry. They have no superstars, but they play well together. Merrill goes 2-0. He battles back with a strike. The count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike to Terry Lamberton. Lamberton drives the ball to left field. Left fielder goes over, the ball's foul. Left fielder made a good try in the play. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck will be the Monette's leadoff hitter, right fielder Paul Rao.
Same thing, buddy. Come on, Derek. I got it on camera.
There's 1 away in the top of the second inning. Monette's leads 3-0.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll do that.
Merrill delivers a 2-2 pitch. Lamberton drives the ball up the middle. Merrill makes a nice play in the ball and goes over to first for the second out of the inning. So quickly, Ayerst turns 2 outs. They'll send Monette's leadoff hitter Paul Rao to the plate. Paul led off the ball game with a base on balls. He scored the first Monette's run of the game. Stands in here, first official trip to the plate. Rao drives the ball to the shortstop. Jim Enkill picks the ball up. No play at first base. Jimmy Scriber drops the ball. I think Paul Rao would have had it beat anyway with his tremendous speed. So with 2 outs and a runner on first, Monette will send another speed burner up to the plate, and second baseman Gary Rao. Gary had the only Monette hit of the ball game so far. A base hit to left field in the first inning. First pitch is fouled out of play down the left field line. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. And the second baseman Gary Rao, his brother right fielder Paul Rao stands at first.
Good eye, good eye.
Next delivery is short. The runner goes down to second base. Throws to the shortstop side of the bag at second. There's no tag applied. Paul Rao stands in safely at second base with a stolen base. Now they got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs and Gary Rao at the plate. Calvin, what's our feature game next week?
We haven't decided yet, Doug. But in 2 weeks, it'll be Mark Holmes and Bowl Mart Lane.
Should be a dandy. Should be a dandy. One game I don't want to miss. battles back. Another strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gary Rao, with a runner at scoring position at second base. Next delivery is a ball. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Gary Rao. Rao fouls the ball off down the left field line, out of play. Count stays even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuces are wild. There's 2 outs. Pitch is a ball. Count goes full. That's ball 4. The runner's at first and second as Paul Rao comes off second, directing to go to third. Goes back to second base. His runner's at first and second with 2 down at the top of the second. Monette leads 3-0. They'll send their catcher, Dave Pickles Lambert, to the plate. Dave in the first inning got on by an error. Drives the ball to the second baseman through his legs, out of the right center field. 1 run scores. The second run scores. Monette and Vic showing some speed on the bases here with these 2 Rao brothers. Dave Lambert stands at second base. He drives in 2 to widen the Monette's lead to 5-0. The top of the second inning. Lambert's credited with a double. 2 runs batted in on the play. And that'll send first baseman Gerald Duquette to the plate. He pops the ball up out in front of the plate. Dewey Gordon comes out aggressively and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So after 1.5 innings of play, Monette and Vicks leads 5-0. They come up with 2 runs in the top of the second, 3 in the first. They lead 5-0. Nothing. Jim Angel drives the ball to the third baseman. Babby picks it up over to first on a nice play to retire Ayerst shortstop Jim Angel for the first out of the bottom of the second. That'll send second baseman Ron Babby to the plate. It's a nice play by John Babby. Took the hard shot, knocked it down, picked it up, went over to first with a nice throw. Second baseman Ron Babby steps in here with 1 out. Lamberton starts him off with a strike, goes out in front with an 0-1 count. Babby drives the ball in the air to left center field. Left center fielder Royce Clark comes over and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. That'll send the Ayerst rover to the plate, Hugh Warner. Monette jumped out with 3 in the first. They came back with 2 in the second. They lead 5-0. There's 2 down in the bottom of the second with Hugh Warner at the plate. First pitch is a strike. Terry Lamberton, again, as in the other inning, getting out in front of the hitters. Warner hits the ball to the second baseman. Boosts the ball in the middle of the infield. Nice throw over to first base. Pulls play at first, and they get the third out. So after 2 complete innings of play, Monette continues to lead Ayerst 5-0. So we got a correction, ladies and gentlemen. That last Ayerst hitter was center fielder Paul McGough. Hugh Warner's yet to hit into the game. For the top of the third, Monette and Vicks leading 5-0. Brad Rascal steps into the plate. He drives the ball to right center field for a base hit. He struck it on down to second base and stands in. Goes down to the slide. Didn't need the slide there. He could have stood in. He leads it off with a double. And that'll send right center fielder Larry LaValle to the plate. Brad's a DH in the game. He got on in the first inning by an error. He doubles here to lead off the top of the third. And that'll send right center fielder Larry Buckwheat LaValle to the plate. In the first inning, Larry drew a walk. First pitch by Mark Merrill's a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Next pitch is inside for 2 balls and no strikes. Ralph Graves, and that shortstop, stands on deck. Merrill battles back with a strike. Count goes 2 balls and 1 strike on Larry LaValle. Brad Rascal stands at second base. There's nobody out in the top of the third. LaValle hits the ball out of play down the right field line. For strike 2, the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beautiful night for a ball game. A little humid early in the evening, seems to be cooling down. A lot of fans here tonight's game. Everybody's having a good time tonight in the Lake Champlain Slow Pitch League. Merrill brings a 2-2 delivery, hit on the ground at third base. Dave Bayshard gets Brad Rasco in a rundown. They get him at third, and on the play, Larry LaValle goes all the way around to second base. Rasco makes a base running error, runs himself into an out at third. With 1 down, Monette still has a runner on second base. Heads up base running by Larry LaValle put him there. He didn't wait for the play to develop at third, he just kept running. Stands in at second base. They'll send their shortstop, Ralph Graves, to the plate. Ralph in the first drew a base on balls. Merrill starts it off with a ball. Counts 1 ball and no strikes to Ralph Graves with a runner at second base and 1 down in the top of the third inning. Graves hits a ball to left field. The left fielder comes over, makes the catch. Good throw to third base. The runner doesn't tag up. Nice throw by the Ayerst left fielder. Runner stays at second. It's the second out of the inning. So with 2 down, third baseman John Babby comes to the plate. John popped up in the first inning to the pitcher. Monette continues to lead. On the top of the third, they lead 5-0. Babby pops the ball up, hits a Texas leaguer. Hugh Warner comes over, makes the catch for the third out of the inning. Monette comes up. Brad Rascal leads off the inning with a double. Runs himself into an out at third. They leave a runner stranded, come up with no runs. So after 2.5 innings of play, Monette and Vicks lead 5-0. First pitch to Jim Farina, the left fielder from Ayerst, is a strike. Next pitch is outside. The count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike to left fielder Jim Farina. Drives the ball to the shortstop. Ralph Graves picks it up. Low throw to first. Darryl Duquette scoops it out for the first out of the inning. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Hugh Warner will finally step to the plate. We had Hugh batting in the last inning. That was my mistake. Hugh steps in here with 1 down. His team trailing 5-0 in the bottom of the third. Terry Lamberton starts him out with a strike. Next pitch is swung on and hit high in the air to left field. Left fielder Monette makes the catch for the second out of the inning. And that'll send the Ayerst catcher Dewey Gordon to the plate. The difference in this ball game right now is the walks in the first inning and the 2 drop fly balls in the Ayerst outfield. Take those away, it's a pretty even ball game. Gordon hits the ball foul down the third base line. Lamberton picks it up, foul territory. Dewey Gordon stands in again with a no ball, 1 strike count. This is still a close ball game. 5 runs in slow pitch softball. It's not a very big margin. Gordon hits the ball in the air. Shortstop goes out in the left center field and makes the catch for the third out of the inning. So quickly in the bottom of the third, Ayerst goes 1, 2, 3, and after 3 complete innings of play, Monette's Furniture Vicks Tavern lead Ayerst 5-0. To the top of the 4th inning for Monette and Vicks will be their left fielder, Darryl Monette. Darryl flew out to right field this first at-bat. Stands in here 0 for 1 on the night. Hits a ball in the air. The second baseman Babby camps under the ball and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. That'll send the left center fielder Royce Clark to the plate. Royce flew out to right center field his first time up. Royce stands in here 0 for 1 on the evening. On deck will be the pitcher, Terry Lamberton. The first pitch is a ball. Merrill continuing to have the problem getting behind early on the hitters, whereby his counterpart, Terry Lamberton, doing just the opposite. He's getting ahead of the hitters early. Merrill battles back and evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike to Royce Clark. On the top of the 4th inning, Monette continues to lead 5-0. Clark drives the ball up the middle for a base hit. The rover makes a nice play in the ball. Tries to throw Clark out at first base. Royce stands in at first base with 1 down. Coming to the plate will be the Monette's pitcher and manager, Terry Lamberton. Terry grounded out to the pitcher his first time to the plate. First pitch is a ball. They try to throw the runner out. They do throw the runner out at second base. Nice throw down the second by the catcher, Dewey Gordon. Throws out Royce Clark for the 2nd out of the inning. Clark got a good jump. Dewey Gordon battled back, made a nice throw. Ron Bavia flied the tag. So now we find 2 down. Nobody on for the top of the 4th. Terry Lamberton still standing at the plate. Pitch is a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike to Terry Lamberton. Top of the 4th inning, 2 outs, nobody on. Lamberton drives the ball to right center field. It's over the right fielder's head. Center fielder comes over and makes the pickup. Fires into second base, but Terry Lamberton, nice piece of work at the plate. It's a stand-up double to right center field. With a runner in scoring position, that'll send their leadoff hitter, right fielder Paul Rao, to the plate. Paul's 1 for 1 in the ball game. In the 1st inning, he drew a walk and scored a run. The 2nd inning, got a base hit and scored a run. It's a dead ball. Lamberton's going to have to go back to second base. So with 2 outs here, Monette has a runner at second. First base is open. The Ayerst infield is going to have to go to first base to get the out. Any slow roller in the infield here, Paul Rao's going to beat it out. He's got too much speed for the play to be made at first base. He hits a hard ball to the shortstop, Jim Ankjo. He bobbles the ball, and Paul Rao is standing at first base. Terry Lamberton, good piece of head work at second base. He doesn't go on the plate. So with runners at first and second, and 2 outs in the top of the 4th, Gary Rao stands in. Gary, like his brother, is 1 for 1 in the evening. He's single in the 1st inning, and in the 2nd, Jewel walk. He scored 2 runs in the ball game tonight. It's a ball to left field. Left fielder Farina camps under the ball and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So after 3.5 innings of play, Monette and Vicks lead Ayerst 5-0. Innings of play. Monette leads 5-0. Our cameraman working the crowd the next ball game. Taking a long look at the ladies. To the bottom of the 4th, Mark Merrill stands in. Mark has the only hit for Ayerst in tonight's ball game. He led off the bottom of the 1st with a base hit. He leads off the bottom of the 4th inning here. His team trails 5-0. Pitch is too high. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike to pitcher Mark Merrill. Lamberton throws a strike, swing and a miss to Mark Merrill, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Next pitch is drilled up the middle. Terry Lamberton makes a nice play, and the ball goes over to first for the 1st out of the inning. Lamberton made a nice defensive play in that ball. That ball was drilled up the middle. That'll send the Ayerst right fielder to the plate, Randy LaFountain.
John, Bobby, your man, John.
Randy grounded out to Lamberton in the first inning. Excuse me, my tongue got tied up there. Sometimes that happens. Monette's making an adjustment in the outfield. They're going to challenge the hitter. They're going to play a rover on him. They're behind the shortstop. Royce Clark sneaks right in there.
Get high now, Terry. Good fire, Terry.
Lambert's delivery, hit on the ground to the shortstop. He bobbles the ball, still picks it up. Throws over to first. The ball is thrown out of play. So Randy LaFountain will be at second base on a throwing error by the Monette shortstop. With one out in the bottom of the fourth, that'll send first baseman Jimmy Schreiber to the plate.
Stop. You're getting the run and get the out.
Ayerst still has only one hit in the ball game. Pitch is too high for a ball. Lamberton, one of the few times he's getting behind on a batter. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes to Jim Schreiber. He battles right back and evens the count up at 1-1. Schreiber hits a ball to the shortstop. He checks the runner. High throw out of play. Ayerst is going to score the first run of the ball game for them. So 2 errors by the Monette shortstop here leads to an Ayerst run. We've got a runner in scoring position and Jim Schreiber at second base. 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. They'll send their third baseman Dave Bayshard to the plate. Dave's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Hit a fly ball to left center field in the first inning. Royce Clark ate that up to the final out of the inning.
Good fire. Right.
First pitch is a strike. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. There's a runner on second and 1 away. It's a ball hit the ground. Over to first base. Gerald Duquette made a nice play. He held on to the ball long enough. For the second out of the inning. Came very close to having a 3rd consecutive error on a throw by the shortstop. Gerald Duquette saved him. At the second out of the inning. And that'll send their shortstop, Jim Anktill, to the plate. Jim's 0 for 1 in the ball game. In fact, everybody's 0 for 1 for Ayerst up to this point, with the exception of Mark Merrill. Anktill hits a ground ball to third baseman. Low throw to first base, where Gerald Duquette again picks the ball out of the dirt for the final out of the inning. So after 4 complete innings of play, Monette leads 5-1. Ayerst comes up with 1 run in the bottom of the fourth. Cut the lead to 5-1. There's a long way to go. Just going to enter the 5th inning. Still a difference in this ball game. Early walks in the first inning by pitcher Merrill, and those 2 drop fly balls in the outfield really hurt Ayerst. You take those 2 things away, you got a tight ball game here. But still, I reiterate the point, that's 5-1. The game is not out of reach yet. The 5th inning, Dave Lambert steps in. He's a Monette's catcher. He drills the ball. It's foul and out of play down the left field line for strike 1. His team leads 5-1 in the ball game. We're in the top of the 5th. Lambert's leading off, and on deck will be the first baseman, Gerald Duquette. Lambert drills the ball up the middle for a base hit. Dave Pickles Lambert. He leads off the top of the 5th inning with a base rat. That'll send Gerald Duquette to the plate. Gerald made 2 fine defensive plays in the bottom of the 4th inning. Took 2 low throws, picked them out of the dirt, turned them into outs. He stands in here with nobody out and a runner at first base. His team leads 5-1. Duke in the ball game's 0 for 2. First pitch is outside for a ball. He goes to 1 ball and no strikes. He drills the ball to left field for a base hit. Lambert rounds the bag at second base. He's going to hold there. So that'll be runners at first and second and nobody out. And that'll send the designated hitter, Brad Rasko, to the plate. We're going to have a pinch hitter here. Hitting for Brad Rasko will be Bill Anktill. Bill's played in this league for a lot of years. He hasn't played too much in the last couple of years. But previous to that was a full-time performer, and a very fine performer. I don't know what the thinking is here to have a pinch hitter. Brad Rasco in his last trip to the plate had doubled. In fact, he'd been on both times to the plate. His first at-bat, he got on one of those drop fly balls in the Ayerst outfield. So Enkill stands in here with nobody out. First pitch is inside. Runner's going to move up. Dewey Gordon covers up real nice. Runners don't advance. They remain at first and second with nobody out. Monette leads in the ball game 5-1. They're looking to break the game open here. They're sending a pinch hitter, Bill Enkill, to the plate. Counts 1 ball and no strikes. Enkill drives the ball over the Rovers' head out in the left center field. 1 run will score. Throw over to first. The runner wasn't off. So Bill Enkill in a pinch hit performance here tonight comes up with a big base rap to left center field. Drives in Dave Lambert from second base. For the 6 minutes run of the game, they lead 6-1. Runner still at first and second. Nobody down. And the right center fielder, Larry LaValle, stands in. Larry hits the ball in the air to right field. The right fielder comes over, drops the ball. It goes over his head to the fence. 1 run will score on the play as Duquette scores. Bill Enkill follows a play at the plate. Enkill safe at the plate. 2-run scorer. They stretch the Monette's lead to 8-1 on another error in the Ayerst outfield. That ball should have been easily caught. I probably could have easily. With nobody out in the top of the 5th inning, the runner at second base. Monette's going to send their shortstop, Ralph Graves, to the plate. He swings in the first pitch, drives the ball over the Rover's head. Center fielder comes over, makes the catch on the play. LaValle tags up at second, motors into third base. He's in there safely. So with 1 out and a runner on third baseman John Babby's going to step in here. John's 0 for 2 in the ball game.
John, I'll see a ground ball. Come on, John Babby. Okay, shit out of you, John. Come on now.
Monette has come up with 3 runs in the inning. They stretch their lead to 8-1 on the top of the 5th. John Babby stands in here. He's 0 for 2 in tonight's performance. First pitch is a ball. He's a runner at third. Next pitch, swung on. Hit fouled on a third base line. Ball's out of play for strike 1. The count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Ayerst right fielder seems to have suffered an injury on that last play. He's having an elbow problem. Counts even at 1 ball and 1 strike. There's 1 away in the top of the 5th. The runner standing at third base.
Level now, John. Come on, buddy. Come on, John, kid. Hit it hard, John.
Babby swings. It's a ball in the air to left field. Left fielder makes the play on the ball. He fires to the plate. The throw's cut. And they throw again to the plate. Catcher doesn't come up with a throw. Throw would have been too late anyway. As Larry LaValle scores their 9th Monette's run of the game, they lead 9-1. The bases are empty, 2 outs. Left fielder Daryl Monette's going to come to the plate. Daryl in the ball game's 0 for 2. Pull out to the Rover in the first inning, popped up to the second baseman in the second inning. Excuse me, the third inning. Monette's leads 9-1. It's a ball in the air. The Rovers camps under the ball, makes the 3rd out of the inning. But in the inning, Monette's Invictus comes up with 4 runs. They lead after 4 1/2 innings of play, 9-1. The 5th inning, Ron Babby's going to lead it off. He's a second baseman for Ayerst. He's 0 for 1 in the game. Drills the ball to center field for a base hit. He's going to try to stretch it into 2. He goes in standing up. He leads off the bottom of the 5th inning for Ayerst with a double. That's their 2nd hit of the night. The other hit was collected in the 1st inning by their leadoff hitter, pitcher Mark Merrill. And that'll send to the plate their center fielder Paul McGough. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game tonight. They got a runner at 2nd with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. Ayerst trails 9-1. Lamberton starts McGough off with a strike. McGough drills the ball up the middle. The shortstop just puts a glove on the ball. Ron Babby's going to score. So Ayerst comes up with a run quickly in the bottom of the 5th, and they cut the Monette's lead to 9-2 as McGough drives in a run. That'll send the left fielder Jim Farina to the plate. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. There's a runner at 1st and nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning. He hits a ball foul down the left field line. Ball's out of play for strike 1. On deck will be the Ayerst Rover in tonight's ball game. I apologize for making a mistake on his name before. The Rover's Hugh Warner. He stands on the undecked circle. McGough drills the ball up the middle. Lamberton goes to 2nd for the 1st out. Over to 1st on a pretty double play. So on the play by Lamberton. The 2nd and over to 1st. They double up the runners for 2 outs. That'll send Hugh Warner to the plate. Hugh in the ball game is 0 for 1, flew out to left field. Lamberton starts him off with a strike. Lamberton continues to start off the hitters with a strike. Warner hits a ball foul down the left field line and out of play. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes on Hugh Warner. Lamberton brings the ball, again hit foul and out of play down the left field line. On the bottom of the 5th inning, there's 2 away, nobody on. Monette and Vicks leads 9-2. Ayerst in the ball game has 2 hits. Babby with a leadoff double in the bottom of the 5th. It's a ball foul and out of play down the left field line. Their other hit was a leadoff hit in the 1st inning by their pitcher Mark Merrill. Still hanging here tough, 9-2. Lamberton brings the pitch. Warner hits a ball hard down the 3rd baseline. John Babby, high throw and out of play at 1st base. And Warner is going to stand up at 2nd base. Stands in there at 2nd. We've got to give a throw in air to the 3rd baseman, John Babby, on the plate. And that'll send catcher Dewey Gordon to the plate. Dewey popped up to the shortstop in the 3rd inning. First pitch, popped up, a Texas leaguer. The Rovers playing in the right spot for the 3rd out of the inning. Ayerst comes up with 1 run in the bottom of the 5th inning. But after 5 complete innings of play, they continue to trail Monette's and Vicks Tavern 9-2. The top of the 6th inning, with Monette's leading 9-2, they'll send their left center fielder Royce Clark to the plate. Royce in the ball game is 1 for 2. Got a base hit in the 4th inning, was caught trying to steal 2nd. Mark Merrill starts Clark off with a strike. Next pitch is drilled up the middle for a base hit. So Royce Clark comes up with his 2nd hit of the ball game. So he leads off the 6th inning for Monette. There's a runner on 1st. Nobody out. The pitcher Terry Lamberton steps in here. Lamberton's 1 for 2 in the ball game. In the 4th inning, Terry Lamberton came up with a double. Grounded out the pitcher in the 1st, in the 2nd inning of play. Stands in here with a runner on 1st and nobody out. His team leads 9-2 in the top of the 6th. Merrill battles back and evens the count on 1 ball and 1 strike to Terry Lamberton. On deck, the leadoff hitter, right fielder Paul Rouse. He's had a big night at the plate. Next pitch is hit in the air to left field. Left fielder Farina camps under the ball, catches it. Runners tagging, going to second. Second baseman drops the ball. Clark going to third, makes a throw. He's in there, standing up. Royce Clark's over at third base. Running the bases aggressively tonight. Got thrown out in the 4th, but he was still in the 6th inning, is still running aggressively. That's the way you got to play this game. You got to run the bases aggressively, play aggressive in the outfield, hit the ball hard. He stands in at third base with 1 away. Paul Rouse steps to the plate. Paul scored 2 runs tonight. Got a base hit in the 2nd, walked in the 1st, got on by an error in the 4th. Hits the ball on the ground to the third baseman. Rao with a lot of speed. He's out. The runner scores. Strider made a nice play, got the ball back to the plate cleanly, but not in time to get the runner Clark. It was a bang-bang play at first base. Paul Rao's speed. They turn the 2nd out of the inning. Monette scores a 10th run of the ball game for them. They lead 10-2. With the bases empty, they'll send their second baseman Hag Rao to the plate. Gary's another Monette's player, blessed with an abundance of speed, and he uses it to the fullest advantage. Pops the ball up behind the third baseman. Bayshard goes back on the ball and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So after 5.5 innings of play, Monette's Furniture Vic's Tavern leads 10-2 over Ayerst. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Mark Merrill stands in. Lamberton starts him off with a ball. Mark in the ball game's 1 for 2. Got a base hit in the 1st inning. Hits a ball in the air to left center field. It's dropping. Left center fielder comes over, makes a nice catch on a ball. Royce Clark comes over, covers a lot of territory out there. Retires Merrill for the 1st out at the bottom of the 6th inning. And that'll send the right fielder Randy LaFountain to the plate. Randy, the ball game's 0 for 2. He got on in the 4th and scored the 1st Ayerst run. Got on, error charge with a shortstop. Hits a ball to the third baseman. Third baseman throws over to first base for the out. So quickly in the bottom of the 6th inning, there's 2 away. That'll send the first baseman Jim Scriver to the plate. Jim in the ball game's 0 for 2. He got on in the 4th. That was the inning the Monette shortstop had a problem with his throwing. Came up with 2 consecutive errors. In fact, in that inning there, the infield had 2 other throws that were in the dirt at first. Gerald Duquette picked them out of the ground nicely for the outs. Lamberton falls behind Scriver. 2 balls and no strikes. There's nobody on. We're in the bottom of the 6th. He battles back with a strike. The count goes to 2-1. And that continues to lead 10-2. Scriver hits the ball up the middle. Oh, what a close play at first base. They call Scriver out. Second baseman bobble the ball. Shovel the ball over to first base. That was a bang-bang play at first. My opinion, the runner was safe. Well, we're not asking for my opinion. It's in the opinion of the umpire that he was out. That was the 3rd out of the inning. Ayerst comes up with no runs, and after 6 complete innings of play, they trail Monette's Furniture and Vic's Tavern 10-2. For the 7th inning here, Monette's leads 10-2. They'll send their catcher Dave Lambert to the plate. Dave's had a big night at the plate. He's 2 for 3. He scored 2 runs. He's got a double, a single. And in the 1st inning, he got on by an error and scored a run. Scored a run again in the 5th. It's a big night at the plate for Dave Lambert. Merrill starts him off with a ball. The count goes to 1-0. Lambert steps out in front of the plate, hits a fly ball down the right field line. Ball drops, but it's foul. So the count will even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Monette and Vicks, one of these teams with a dual sponsorship. It works out rather well. One sponsor doesn't have to carry the whole weight of a sponsorship. And it does cost money to get a team in this league. You're going to outfit them in uniforms, cover the entry fee. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit down a third base line. Third baseman makes a throw, and another controversial call at first base. The runner's called out. Ayerst did make a nice pickup on the ball and made a nice throw. It was a bang-bang play at first. In all fairness to the umpire, we're calling it probably from the worst angle on the field. So with 1 out in the top of the 7th, we'll send the first baseman, Gerald Duquette, to the plate. Gerald in the ball game's 1 for 3. I think Gerald's biggest contributions, I'm not going to call him Gerald anymore tonight, that's Duke. Been Duke for years, and that's the way he's going to be. Those 2 plays at first base. Ayerst was getting runners on. He picked out 2 low throws and turned them both into outs. He's hitting here with 1 out and nobody on. Hits a ball down a third baseman, drops the ball over to first on a nice throw for the 2nd out of the inning. And a plus on the Ayerst side tonight is their third baseman's play. Dave Ayerst played one hell of a ball game over there at third tonight. And their left fielders also look pretty solid out there. Couple of nice catches, made a nice throw to third. Standing in here, pinch hitter Bill Anktil remains in a ball game. He's 1 for 1. Had a pinch hit single in the 5th inning. He came in to hit for Brad Rasco. He's hitting here with 2 outs and nobody on, and we're in the top of the 7th. Pitch is a ball. Count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. So the book of baseball, softball says here the batter should be sitting on this pitch. Merrill battles back, throws a strike. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. He might even give this one another look. He's swinging away, hits a ball down the third baseline. Good shot down the third baseline for a base hit. So Bill Anktil, since coming into the ball game, is 2 for 2. Jim Anktil tries to pick him off first. Nice throw. Anktil's not wandering away from the bag. He's standing there with the 2nd base hit of the night. That'll send the right center fielder, Larry LaValle, to the plate. Larry in the ball game drew a walk. In a fielder's choice, he got on by an error by the right fielder. Merrill starts him off with a ball. There's a runner at first with 2 down. We're at the top of the 7th. Monette and Vicks leads 10-2. Next pitch is outside. The count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. The right center fielder, Larry LaValle. Monette shortstop, Ralph Graves, stands in the on-deck circle. Manager Lamberton hollers out instructions and encouragement. Next pitch is outside, and the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. So as in the case of Anktil, this batter should be sitting on this pitch. Very few green lights in softball. LaValle draws a walk. So with 2 down, Monette gets runners on 1st and 2nd. They'll send the shortstop, Ralph Graves, to the plate. Ralph in his ball game's 0 for 2. Drew a walk in the 1st inning. His other 2 appearances flew out to the left fielder and left center fielder. Merrill throws another ball. Gets behind 1-0 to Ralph Graves. He battles back and evens count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch is inside. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Count goes to 3-1. Merrill had solved his control problem in the middle innings. Now a 2nd consecutive walk in the 7th. Problem seems to come back to haunt him. Hurt him in the 1st, Now here in the 7th, with 2 down, base hit here, and it's going to come back to hurt him again. John Babby, the third baseman, steps in. He's 0 for 3 in the night. He drills the ball to the shortstop, bobbles the ball, still goes over to first. Bad throw over to first. 1 run scores for the 11th run. Another run scores for the 12th run. So on the throwing error on the play, 2 runs scored. That stretches the Monette's lead to 12-2 in the 7th inning. He scored these runs with 2 down.
Hey, come on! I want my bat!
Top of the 7th.
Come on, Hager, you don't want to make last now, Hager. Come on here! Nobody wants to make last.
That'll send the left fielder, Daryl Monette. His teammates encourage him, call him Hager. He's 0 for 3 in a ball game. The reason they call him Hager, he's got an identical twin. They call him the Hager twins. Hits a ball at third baseman, goes over to second. The second baseman drops the ball. 13th run of the game for Monette scores. Monette stands at first base. He's 0 for 4 in a ball game, and he just drives in a run here. 13th run of the game. That'll send Royce Clark to the plate. Many of you don't know who the Hager brothers are. They're the identical twins that's been on Hee-Haw for years. I don't know if the Monette brothers sing like the Hager brothers, but in fact, they don't even look like them, but they look identical to each other. If anyone can figure that out. As Royce Clark with 2 down steps in with runners in first and second. Drives the ball foul down the right field line. The ball is out of play.
Well, of course, Royce Clark is no relation to Roy Clark, also a Hee-Haw.
No, he isn't. But I heard he plays the fiddle like him.
Wow.
Sweet.
Merrill comes back with a ball. The count evens up. Left center fielder Royce Clark. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitches inside, hit foul down the left field line and out of play.
That's a good shot, Roy. That's the idea right there.
Now goes to 1 ball,
That's the idea, Roy.
2 strikes. Royce in a ball game tonight's got 2 hits. Got a hit in the 4th. He's back with a hit in the 5th. He's 2 for 3 in a ball game. Sitting here with runners in first and second and 2 out. Hits a ball on the ground to the third baseman. Third baseman in a race to the bag, and he beats the runner to third on a nice play to retire the side. But in the inning, Monette scores 3 runs with 2 outs in the inning. They stretch their lead over Ayerst to 13-2. So we're in the bottom of the 7th inning here. Monette leads 13-2. Ayerst's last time to the plate, they're going to send their third baseman, Dave Bayshard, to the plate. Their shortstop, Jim Engtill. And their second baseman, Ron Babby, they're going to send 3/4 of the interior of the infield to the plate. Dave stands in here. He's 0 for 2. He's played a fine defensive ball game tonight. Got a late breaking score. Barcombe, Stevie, and Furniture. They continue to set the pace in their division. They defeated Blubs 9-1. Lamberton throws Bayshard a strike. Count goes even. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bayshard hits a ball in the air. Nice play made by the shortstop Graves to retire Dave Bayshard to the first out of the inning in the bottom of the 7th. That'll send the shortstop to the plate, Jim Engtill. Jim in the ball game tonight is 0 for 2. On deck will be the second baseman, Ron Babby. So the wins tonight by Barcombs and Bowl Mart. 2 teams are battling tough. Engtill hits a ball to the third baseman, throws low. Gerald Duquette with another nice play and another nice stretch at first base for the second out of the inning. And the last hope for Ayerst will come to the plate in second baseman Ron Babby. His last trip to the plate, Ronnie doubled. He's 1 for 2 in tonight's game. Both divisions are heating up. Going into our last 2 weeks of the regular season. Monette's a crossing and transborder, although the crossing loss tonight really hurts them. Monette's and transborder are hanging in tough. Babby swings and misses. Over on the other side of the coin, Mark Holmes continues to lead as they have throughout the season. Babby hits a fly ball to left field. Left fielder Monette camps under the ball makes the final out of the game. The final score, after 7 innings, Monette defeats Ayerst by a score of 13-2. Again, we'll point out this ball game tonight, Ayerst did not play that poorly. They had walk problem in the first inning, 2 fly ball outs that should have been outs, and they were dropped in the outfield. And again in the 7th inning, their pitcher Mark Merrill, who seemed to have solved this control problem, ran into the control problem again. Monette came up with 3 more runs, and they came away with a 13-2 win. Next week's feature game of the week is yet to be undecided. We promised we're going to get you an exciting game. But remember, in 2 weeks, Barcomb's TV and Furniture will meet Bowl Mart Lanes, and hopefully that game will decide their divisional championship. Hopefully. They both have to win the remainder of their games in between. Bowl Mart Lanes has a tough one coming up next Monday night against Sportabout. We done? Thank you for watching tonight's game, and remember, until next week, this is Dog Schneider. Softball fever. Catch it.
Hello, North Country. This is Gordy Little, welcoming you to Our Hour, a weekly presentation produced and coordinated by your neighbors, brought to you in the interest of highlighting and promoting what's best about our Clinton County Northern Tier. Our Hour is made possible through the resources and efforts of a great many dedicated groups and individuals in your community. Along the way, we hope to entertain you and to inform you. Your comments and suggestions are most heartily welcome. Our Hour is sponsored by the town of Champlain, the village of Rouse's Point, and the village of Champlain. It's coordinated by Woodman of the World Lodge 462. Your host, Calvin Castine.
After a 2-week vacation, we're back on the air. This week we're going to lead off with a softball game from the Lake Champlain Slow Pitch League, featuring Barcomb's TV versus Tremblay's Sportabout. Following that, we'll have episode number 7 of our High Feather series. This series is obtained from the Clinton Essex Franklin Library. And following that, we'll have highlights from the recent BMX bike races in Champlain. So stay tuned. We're at the American Legion Field in Champlain. With Sportabout leading off here in the top of the first inning. The leadoff batter is Cliff Rye. This is first round action of the Lake Champlain Slow Pitch League. This series here is tied 1-1. There's a base hit up to right field by Cliff Rye. Rounds first, it stays there. This series is tied 1-1 at the moment. But Sportabout winning the first game, and Barcomb's coming back and taking the second match. This game here will decide the winner. They'll go on to play Monette's Vicks. Monette's Vicks defeated Alberg in their playoff. Batter now is Mike Richard. Gary Decos on the mound. Ball hit the guy Juno. Juno over to Van Hughes on the shortstop over to first. Double play. That'll bring up the shortstop, Mark Guerin, for Sportabout. Fire behind the plate is Dick Letourneau. Umpire on the bases, Alan Babby. Another action tonight. Crossing and Bowl Mart Lanes are playing. The Crossing will win that game and take a 1-0 advantage in their second round series. Little shot of the crowd here. We're at the Champlain Elementary School field. Crossing American Legion in Champlain. Gary DeCoste on the mound for Barcombs. Mark Guerin, the batter. Swings at the next pitch. Lofts it into left field. Diving catch by Dale Cardan, the third baseman. With his back to the plate, Dale Cardan makes a stabbing, diving catch. That'll bring up here in the bottom half of the first inning. Barcombs shortstop, league president Dick Van Heusen. Larry Trombley on the mound for Sportabout. There's a base hit up the middle for Van Heusen. That'll bring up number 9, Gary DeCoste, the pitcher.
Come on, DeCoste, hit it hard, Gary. Come on, Gary. Hit it hard, Gary.
We're operating on our batteries tonight. There's no easy electricity in this field. Our battery charger just came back from being repaired. We're going to have to cut things short between innings in order to save on our electricity. So this game will be a fast-moving game. There's a ball hit to the shortstop. Guerin takes it himself over to first. Double play. Perry Trombley hangs on, stretches. Completes the double play. So we've seen 2 double plays here in the first inning. This will bring up the third baseman, Dale Cardan, who made that nice catch with his back to the plate. Behind the plate for Sportabout tonight, Don Cook. Strike call by Dick Letourneau. Infield for Sportabout. Perry Trombley at first, Cliff Rye at second. Shortstop is Mark Guerin. Third base, Joe Miller. Larry Trombley on the mound. Bottom half of the first inning. Cardan looks at strike 2. Foul down the first base line. Pitch by Trombley, too high, umpire says. Even the count up at 2-2. There's too much arc in that last pitch. The ball can have no more than 10 feet of arc from the point of release. Must have at least 3 feet. Those are the slow pitch rules of this league. Too high again. Cardan swings. Trombley knocks it down. Throws over to first. And we're gone in the first inning. Even though that pitch had too much arc, the batter still has the option of swinging at it. Cardan chose to swing at it, lined it to Trombley, knocked it down. And we're in the top of the second inning now with the batter, the cleanup hitter, Charlie Calloway for Sportabout. Infield for Barcombs. Cardan's at third. Van Heusen's at shortstop. Guy Juno at second base. Frank Dumas at first. There's a hit to Juno. Over to Dumas, and 1 down in the top of the second inning. This will bring up the designated hitter, Mike Gadway. Behind the plate for Barcombs is Dan Phillips. Pitcher Gary DeCoste. Kid Gadaway, the batter. One down, top of the second inning. No score.
Come on, Gary. There's two. That's the middle.
It's it high to right center. Raleigh over there. 2 down. Home plate umpire tonight, Dick Letourneau, is umpire-in-chief of the league. Donnie Cook, the batter, left-hander. Cook swings, hits the ball into short center field. He'll have his base hit, second base hit for Sportabout. 2 out here in the bottom of the second inning, top of the second inning. Joe Miller, the batter now, another left-hander. Too much arc, he swings at it. Falls into left field. They have runners now at first and second with 2 outs. Sportabout battling here in the second inning. This will bring up Frank Parker. Parker, the right fielder. Swings it down the third baseline. Cardan takes it unassisted. So, twice in a row, Cardan ends the inning with a fielding play unassisted. After an inning and a half, no score. Leading off here in the bottom of the second inning will be Dan Tree Phillips for Barcombs TV. Swings, high chopper to third baseman Joe Miller. Over to first, 1 down. That'll bring up team manager Randy Barcomb. Barcomb grounds it to the pitcher over the first base. Trombley to Trombley, and there's 2 down quickly here in the bottom of the second inning. That'll bring up number 5, Andy Morelli, the right center fielder. Looks at a strike. Swings, hits it to the shortstop, Guerin. Over to first. After 2 complete innings, score, Barcombs TV nothing, Sportabout nothing. In the third inning here will be Ron LeBombard, the left center fielder. Lofts it into right center field, Morelli under it for the out. Let's bring up the pitcher, 0-0, Larry Trombley, lines a shot over on the left side of the infield. 1 on, 1 out. Bring up the 10th batter, or 11th batter here. Perry Trombley, the first baseman. Trombley, one of several left-handed hitters on Sportabout. They have an unusual number of left-handed hitters. Too much arc. Foul down the right field line, out of play. Trombley hits it down. Dumas giving chase. Umpire says it was out of play. Nice play by Dumas, but the ball was out of play. Dick Letourneau hustling over there, getting in position to make that call. Trombley, it's a base hit. Now runners on first and second. 2 Trombleys on. Batter Cliff Rye. Hits it out to right center fielder Morelli. Throws the ball into the infield. No advance on the runners. This will bring up Mike Richard. Richard, one of the fastest players in the league. Looks at a strike. The Sportabout's threatening here. 2 on and 2 out. Richard lofts it high. Didn't like that one. Gary Favreau comes over from right field to make that play. So after 2.5 innings, scores 0-0. Gary Favreau made that last catch that you just saw.